Good morning. I just made a whole video using the screen recorder and the bird, and when I press stop, it normally processes for a minute depending on the length of the video that you make, and then it'll be done, and you can have it available for your final stage editing, which I do with the InShot app. I use that to put all my shit together, and that's what I do. That's how I make my videos. And after pressing that, it was gone. No such video. I had to press stop for it to stop processing, which I did. I remember it, not mistaking it. I'd like to show you this shirt that I got now. If I don't kill it, my family don't eat. My brother got this shirt from the Goodwill. Now I had to get into a fight with my brother. I didn't want to get into a fight with him. I couldn't articulate to him what I was needing, which was really just for him to leave for a period of time, for me to run through the house, do what I needed to do to adjust all of it. Having already had the experience of them staying with me, I had absorbed a lot of information from them. How do you do that? All I have to do is be in the proximity of people to absorb them. Okay? I know this. I can't tell him that. I can't say that. But I know this goes on. I know that he's able to do this, but I'm not sure if he's not doing it. If his consciousness just it has it subconscious, I don't know. I don't know. But I look at him, look at me, and I need to do this, so I'm freaking out because I can't. I don't know what to do. And his uh mind is just going through the roles of the me's that he likes to poke at for different reasons. I'm freaked out. Now, of course, he chalked it up to being devastated with loss. He knew I was going through some emotional shit, but he doesn't know how well I've worked through it. He doesn't know how day to day I use it. He doesn't know any of that. There's no basis of context. So he leaves. I think he's leaving and going back home. I really don't think that, though. In my mind, I know that he'll come back, that he'll kind of get what I was saying. Now, I couldn't. Hold on. I wasn't able to utilize him physically for help. I couldn't be like, oh, just help me adjust the place and do all that. I couldn't do that. Now, I don't know why I'm saying I couldn't do it, but of the options I had available to me, I'm going to explain where I was at and why it's significant. I'm looking at him from the place where my dad died. I was in that spot, and I could look across the room and see him sitting in this chair. And I could see him look at me, and I could see the expressions on his face. And it made me wonder if he could actually see me. That was the first thought that I had. Then after thinking that and looking, I went into some other mode where, you know, then I had to engage him because it was clear to me that he would be able to shroud me with some form of weirdo or whatever that I wasn't not only going to be not useful, it would greatly hinder what I'm trying to do for my dad this day, on that day. So that I encountered him. He's upset. And in that process of throwing the fit, I didn't say anything bad about him at all. At all. I had nothing bad to say about him. I didn't tell him what to do because I didn't want him to do anything. I just needed him maybe to get out of the way. I don't know how to say that nicely. He would have taken it to offense. But they were going to go and do something in the morning. I think already. There was a rough plan to do that. It was just a little too early for that, but just early enough for me to do what I had to do. Which, the one thing that I was not going to do until he left, I did immediately, and it was move this big ass TV here. Because I couldn't play this video of my dad that was made into a DVD without that TV. Because that TV's got a remote. It has the DVD player and remote on one remote, and it would work. And I couldn't get the other one to work. Wasn't sure, not familiar with the TV. It was my dad's TV, not mine. And all his DVD and TV equipment stuff has to be learned by me because I don't know how to use it. I press the buttons to change the channel on the TV. I don't have a remote that operates it. I don't even know which one did. The remote that he had that he was operating his TV with, I'm not even sure I could visualize which one. He had 2 remotes or 3. And an extra of the one that I have that is in play to get confused, but it doesn't have anything set on it. So it's like you have to go through that whole process again, and it's not easy. It's not that it's impossible, because I've done it. I have both my TV and my DVD player, this one, set by that remote, and it works. It turns on. Illustrate that. I want to if I have my remote right here, but I can't. And I also don't want to take my remote off into some other room again to get it mixed and confused with the other ones. There's a bit of confusion still going on. I don't know where the remote is. And I don't want it to remain anywhere but on this table if this TV is going to be in here. Now, this TV is heavy as fuck. As TVs go, it's 52-inch and it's fucking solid. It's big. That table it's on, I wondered if it would support it. Can I lift the TV up? At times I can lift the TV up. I can pick it up and I can walk with it. Only it. And it's a bitch. It's heavy, you know. So it was at the limit of what I could actually do. Now, to actually accomplish this, though, I had to slide it off where it was on an angle under the ground, not destroying it, and bring it in here and then set it up. Which I guess it's okay to be in here because I had put it in that other room from my room. No small feat. And I would have liked to have done that for my dad when he was still alive because this TV is so much bigger and it would have been a lot easier for him to see. But that would not have been correct. That's why it didn't happen, because he wouldn't have wanted that TV in here. He wanted his TV. He wouldn't accept things from you that were yours. Under a lot of the same conditions that I'm operating by. I don't do certain things. I'm not aware of all of why the reasons are, but it goes into my subconscious and it feeds off there as a reason is under there, and I don't get to partake in what the exact reason is and don't get to know, and that's just your subconscious. The same mechanism is at work in a lot of areas in your life, because most of your power does come from your subconscious awareness. Every bit of information that's coming from every organ and every cell in your body is dumped into a pool of awareness. From it, you get sensory information that plugs into your actual sensory organs. My eyes, I can see. Of course, the conditions in my body can constrain that sight. And I know that. My first video was about a lot of this, but I'm diverging and I'm elevating this message to just basically say we have perception. Perception encompasses the whole of our sensory information. Perception is the key to advancing, period. When you say, I see this or I see that and I see this and that, what you're basically saying is that you yourself, an isolated fragment, has this version of perception. But you're not utilizing perception at that point. You're not utilizing the actual benefit of perception. Perception is a whole body awareness thing. Although it can pertain specifically to sight, I'm telling you it does not. It encompasses the whole of what you're able to tune in on, what you can receive from your antenna system. When you open your perceptions, or when you open perception to each of the fragmented parts of your sensory body as an individual human, you begin to grow that perception psychically. It does. You'll begin to pick up information from all different sort of things that you're not directly plugged into as a human, but you are set up for as a soul. When you leave your body and say you've died, and you look down and you see your body laying there, and that's some of the first out of body experiences people have, and had either an out of body event because they've died and were brought back, or they were unconscious somehow. But that orb, that invisible ghost, that whatever it is, can see. It does see the body. It has no eyes. The eyes are on the table. But it does see. So that tells me, and not just me, that the ability to see or perceive is not limited by the physical organ eye. It tells me the physical organ eye is a catalytic tool for the human individual body to acquire information, but it's not the limit of it. You can see. There are children that can see without using their eyes. They blindfold them. There are a certain young child, I think it might be under 7 years old, I'm not exactly sure, and they're doing this today. They can get them to see using their third eye. And this is some of the stuff the Dan Winter fractal field and the plasma people, call them plasma people, I don't exactly know what to say about what they're actually doing. They're doing consciousness research. They're doing a kind of newer science with implosion. Instead of exploding things like we're so used to and thinking that's powerful, it's actually when you can implode something and collapse it is where the power's at. When you get machinery and you get technology running off of that, it runs cold, not hot, and it is sort of the way to go. It's not just the way to go in like external technologies; it's the way to go with internal technologies, with your experience, your soul. There's a lot of key correlations there that not only are they familiar to the humans who are already rediscovering them, they are well known before. Atlantis knew this. They had a society that I do believe was about par with where we are now, except our use of technology is at the expense of our spiritual knowledge. Now, they didn't have this problem. They had a par spiritual knowledge tied in with their actual technological advancements. They had one power source. It was the Two Eye Stone. And there's information about this. A giant crystal that people have described. I mean, just imagine a giant fucking quartz crystal, clear, and somehow that thing could power all their vehicles. They had something like a spaceship, like a UFO that they flew around, and it powered all of it. And there was two factions in Atlantis. There was the Belial group, who became wanting to conquer the world and take over unknown territories using the power of that stone. The fractioning of the society and the end of Atlantis had to do with that group diverting that use of the crystal and the technology to do nefarious things that was not in natural law. That the other group didn't go that way. They resisted it and they lost their society. And we're going to be a repeat of this event in the very near future somehow. And it'll be an opportunity for us, all of us, to abstain from making the wrong choices, perhaps make the right. See, the right choice, the right way is already there. And you're already on the right path if you're able to perceive that. The world will do what it does with or without your participation. That's called extant. When something doesn't, like, it doesn't matter if you know it exists. It exists. You know, the universe began. It doesn't matter if you know how it began. It began. That's an extant fact. It exists. It is. So, you know, the knowledge of how precludes that. And in that context, if you look to the future and the way the world is now, you're able to navigate because things arise. Things arise that fit or don't. You have to expend vast effort to do something. There's a lot of the universe is telling you not to do that. That's not to say that you shouldn't do things and expend effort. That's just to say to keep open to the awareness that God may be trying to prevent you from harming yourself. And that's a valid truth. You'll find situations and circumstances will appear that are like stepping stones for you to accomplish what your will in alignment with that will is in the time that it's necessary. That doesn't mean you don't have a free will. It means that by recognizing that coming, happening, knowing that you have either connection to higher self or God that you want to be in alignment with, that God will be assisting you to do things. That doesn't mean he's going to wake up and brush your teeth for you. That's not what I'm saying. But like, there's someone who I get a text from, and it's normally early when I'm being gang stalked, early in the morning. So it was early on this morning that I sent the person a text to them. And now they're on their way. So, and everything for the reasoning of why they're on their way was in alignment. You know, I don't know where they're at. I don't know if they're here or if they're in Houston, because this person, like my brother's trip to here encapsulates a wave of their house to me and back. This guy, let's say downtown Houston and downtown Austin, he could be any of these places. But when I text him, he was close to here and now on his way. And what did you text him? I let him know how I felt about it. I let him know that the event went on because he didn't come, and I'm pretty sure I invited him. And I let him know that I needed some breakfast. Could you please bring it? If you at all possible, could you? And let him know. As he has before. And he is. He said he is. Excellent. Excellent. And I'm going to be providing him a service, which my dad did, and did not seek that out. I did not seek it out. I didn't. And actually, I'm at the beginning stage of that next cycle of that process that I will continue for my dad. You know, certain people come to my dad for certain stuff or whatever you can call, and it's not entirely as illegal as it may have been used to be, but it's business. It's business, and it's not a negatively impacting one upon the earth, thank God. So I mean, stay at wonder, and you're not going to be able to guess because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. It's not your business. I'm just letting you know because I am being transparent as much as I can be using what I'm using here, which is public fucking YouTube. So my video didn't record. It wasn't there. So I have to make this one. I'm taking this as a stepping stone to step up. So I put on my clothes. This shirt my brother bought me. It's nice. I look actually kind of nice without needing to shave. I do need to shave, of course. I feel that, but I really need a new razor to do it, which I need to get. I do need to go shopping and buy some groceries. Now I have no assistance money coming in at all that I am aware of. And for a lot of people, that would be a great uh, blow in their emotions for feeling secure and safe. Now, I've got to find another job. But I was going to do that when I put my dad's ashes into the river. Now, nature and life situations has stopped that, but in a way, they have not because this box is sitting right here. It's not bothering anything, and it's okay. It can be paused. I can begin to resume the search or hunt for that at home job. And this would be in the time of the loose plan or goal that I had to do it. So I can begin. I didn't want to mix the two. I didn't want to do that while I was still processing. But the people that came, the the ideal of funeral or wake or whatever you want to call that, and the performance of it for my need and for the friends of family involved is now accomplished. That was the real barrier, not the ashes. That was the real barrier. The ashes can stay in here. I might go down there on a day that I'm going to go and swim and have a wonderful day at the river. I might do it then. That might be the perfect time, and I don't know. But to say it's this was never the case. It wasn't. My dad's life is complete. He was born, he lived, and he died. And he still resides in my heart powerfully. I had to do a lot of crying to get to that place. Haven't been crying. I didn't cry for a couple days. And I would cry. It would be anything. It would set me off. And I would fucking have to cry. And I would go into like almost convulsing. Like, you know, it's fucking horrible. But I'd look myself in the face and I'd do it. I'd make videos too. I would make videos too as I needed to. And that really catapulted my growth. I believe it. Now you might say, well, what? Well, you know, there's a worldly view. I don't have all the things here. Everything's not perfect, but it's not in such utter disarray of chaos that it is any form of chaos. It's not. It's not at all. And that peace that accompanies that feeling of being in that spot is perception that I want you to have, whoever you are, because you don't know what the events are in day-to-day life because they seem so small and insignificant in a lot of ways. But when you have like the milestone moment, that was something that even making these videos when I was talking about his son going back with his father and making up some of that 5-year-old time he didn't have when he was 5 with his dad because they didn't have that opportunity and it was important to sync up. This is the ripple back for that because that was the point since making these videos was to keep that idea, that concept of something being apart from you that you need being returned. And that's the thing, because we all have things that we're missing every day. Something's off, something's not. We have to pursue or gravitate ourselves towards certain things. And when we do that, we find the wholeness, we find the meaning of life, and we're able to perceive it and see it clear. But that's not a view you can readily share with everyone else, because people have so many contending things that they're attempting, trying, experiencing, that a lot of times they will not maliciously seek to pull you off the path, but they have that role and ability within theirs, because they're looking for their way and you're looking for yours. And you have to know when not to leave your space and not assist the other person, because they have everything they need to do that. You being on their journey isn't necessary unless you're playing a better role. And I tell you, when you can perceive from that place, you are playing a better role, because then you can perceive around them, and there's no way you won't be able to participate and be helpful more to the circumstance, the situation that you're in, than in any time before. You'll be able to move in that peace. Some say that's the peace of God. And I believe there's some truth to that. Some people say other things. There's some that don't even believe in God and that exists. So how would nature be assisting you? I would just say, and think of it like that, because you need to think about it. It is something your mind needs to think about, you know. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure and pretty certain that it is the pursuit of truth. Because in this world, there's certain things that you just can't accept because they don't feel like they're not a lie. You know, I want to know certain things, and I want to know the right thing. I don't want a filler answer. I don't want a fucking filler answer. I want the answer. I want to know. And if I'm not getting the truth, I don't want it. I don't want you just to make something up and tell me, or just disappear and leave it unknown. If you're part of me, if I'm asking you, I want to know, and I'd want to know the truth. So that's really what it is. That's what the truther really is. There's someone who's in pursuit. Every movement of their life is trying to hone in on something that's real in this illusion. And that's what it is. Only in as much as if you see things to do, things to experience, and you do them, you would be in the place of power. The place of power should move with you wherever you are. And if you feel disempowered, you can be empowered. And it's not things that do it. If you feel like there's something to do, you want to get people rallied up, you want to make a move, you can do that. It's available to you. If it doesn't happen, you just need to modify your perception a little bit. Perception will get you there. If nothing else in this world makes a shit, if you're someone who values the truth, and you value yourself, and you do, then you just make your perception available to perceive from that place of power. And you will go places, do things, and have victory in this world. You can. But you will not be of this world. You'll be passing through it.